Imagine you're pregnant, no hospital, no doctor, no Google, no pregnancy test, no ultrasound, no painkillers, no idea what's actually happening inside your body. Just you, a cave, and everyone hoping for the best. So, what actually happened? What did ancient humans do when someone got pregnant? Buckle up, because this story is wild, gross, beautiful, and honestly kind of terrifying. First problem: how did ancient humans even know someone was pregnant? No tests, no strips, no apps tracking your cycle. But here's the thing: the human body is loud. Missed periods, swollen belly, morning sickness, sore everything. Ancient women were not stupid. They figured it out fast. In fact, some of the earliest pregnancy tests in history come from ancient Egypt around 1350 BC. Women would pee on bags of wheat and barley seeds. If the wheat sprouted first, girl. If the barley sprouted first, boy. If nothing sprouted, not pregnant. Scientists actually tested this in the 1960s and found it was 70% accurate at detecting pregnancy hormones. Ancient Egyptians were doing science with PEN seeds. Let that sink in. Let's go way back. 200,000 years ago, early Homo sapiens. Pregnancy in the Stone Age was basically a community sport. When a woman showed signs of pregnancy, the whole tribe knew. And the whole tribe cared. Why? Because survival depended on it. Every new baby was a new hunter, a new gatherer, a new pair of hands. The tribe would give the pregnant woman more food, lighter work duties, a spot closer to the fire, and protection from predators. Think of it like ancient VIP treatment. But here's where it gets real. Childbirth in the Stone Age had about a 25% maternal death rate. That means 1 in 4 women did not survive giving birth. So, pregnancy wasn't just exciting. It was terrifying. Every single time. Ancient humans didn't understand biology. They had no concept of sperm and eggs. So, how did they explain pregnancy? Spirits, gods, magic. Many ancient cultures believed pregnancy was caused by a woman swallowing a spirit while swimming in a river, ancestral souls choosing to be reborn through her, the wind entering her body, or a god visiting her in a dream. Some cultures didn't even connect sex to pregnancy for thousands of years. They thought men had nothing to do with it. Yeah. Men weren't invited to that conversation for a long time. Shamans and spiritual leaders became the first pregnancy advisors. They would perform rituals, burn herbs, chant prayers, all to protect the mother and baby from evil spirits they believed caused miscarriage or death. Here's one of the most important and most forgotten jobs in human history: the midwife. Before there were doctors, before there were hospitals, before there was anything, there were midwives. Experienced women who had seen enough births to know what they were doing. In ancient Mesopotamia, around 3000 BC, midwives were respected community leaders. They were part doctor, part therapist, part spiritual guide. They knew which herbs helped with nausea, which positions made labor easier, how to turn a baby that was positioned wrong, and how to stop bleeding after birth. In ancient Egypt, there were even dedicated birth houses, special rooms where women went to give birth, attended by female specialists. These women were doing obstetrics thousands of years before the word existed. And the crazy part? Many of their techniques, like squatting during labor, skin-to-skin contact, and herbal pain relief, are still used today. Okay, this is where it gets both impressive and absolutely unhinged. Ancient pregnancy advice was a mix of genuine wisdom and complete madness. Ancient Greeks recommended walking and light exercise during pregnancy. Modern doctors agree. Romans advised eating iron-rich foods. Also correct. Chinese medicine around 200 BC had detailed dietary guidelines for each trimester. Surprisingly accurate. Now, the less reasonable stuff. Ancient Egyptians rubbed crocodile dung on the cervix as a contraceptive. Romans believed looking at beautiful things during pregnancy made beautiful babies. Medieval Europeans told women not to raise their arms above their heads, or the umbilical cord would strangle the baby. Some cultures believed the pregnant woman's cravings revealed the baby's future personality. To be fair, cravings are real. Science just explains them differently now. But crocodile dung? Ancient Egypt, we need to talk. So, where were the men during all of this? Mostly outside, waiting. In most ancient cultures, childbirth was an exclusively female space. Men were not allowed in the birth room. Not in Egypt, not in Greece, not in Rome, not in most of Asia. But men had other roles. Protection, keeping the family safe during the vulnerable months. Provision, making sure there was enough food. Ritual, performing prayers or sacrifices to gods for a safe birth. In some ancient cultures, something called couvade was practiced. This is where the father would fake labor symptoms, lying in bed, groaning, acting like he was the one giving birth, while the actual mother got up and went about her business. Historians are still not entirely sure why this happened. Some think it was symbolic bonding. Some think it was to confuse evil spirits. Some think men just wanted attention. Honestly, all three are probably true. Here's the part nobody talks about. Pregnancy loss was common in the ancient world. Miscarriage, stillbirth, maternal death, these were not rare exceptions. They were expected possibilities. And ancient cultures dealt with grief in surprisingly human ways. In Mesopotamia, there were specific burial rites for stillborn babies. Ancient Romans named their lost babies in marked graves. In many African tribal cultures, community mourning rituals existed specifically for pregnancy loss. Ancient Japanese culture had mizukokoyo, a ceremony honoring babies who were not born. These people didn't have science, they didn't have medicine, but they had compassion. They understood loss. They built rituals around grief because they understood that a mother's pain was real, even if the baby never took a breath. That's deeply, profoundly human. Okay, the moment arrives. The baby is coming. In the Stone Age, outside or in a cave, squatting, supported by other women. In ancient Egypt, on a special birth chair that let gravity do the work. In ancient Greece, women gripped ropes hanging from the ceiling while midwives guided the baby. In ancient Rome, there was a goddess specifically for childbirth named Lucina. Women prayed to her specifically when labor began. In ancient China, there were textbooks, actual written textbooks, on how to handle complicated births as early as 200 AD. And across all cultures, the moment a baby cried for the first time, celebration, relief, joy, that part hasn't changed at all. Across almost every ancient culture, there was a universal rule after birth. The mother rests, the community provides. In China, 30 to 40 days of strict bed rest called sitting the month. In Latin cultures, la cuarentena, 40 days of recovery. In ancient Egypt, new mothers were given special foods to boost milk production. In African tribal cultures, the whole village took turns bringing food and helping with older children. The idea that a new mother should bounce back immediately and do everything herself, that's actually a modern invention, and a terrible one. Ancient humans understood something we forgot. It takes a village. It always did. So, what did ancient humans do when someone got pregnant? They paid attention. They gathered together. They prayed. They experimented with herbs. And yes, occasionally, with crocodile dung, they invented midwifery. They built rituals around joy and grief. They protected their mothers. They celebrated every single birth like the miracle it was. Without Google, without hospitals, without any of the things we take for granted. And here's the wild part. You are here right now because every single one of your ancestors survived that process. Thousands of years of pregnancy, birth, and survival, all leading to this moment with you watching a video about it. That's not just history, that's your story. And honestly, that's pretty amazing. If this blew your mind, share it with someone who needs to know this. Subscribe for more stories about the humans who came before us. And comment below which part surprised you the most. I'll start. Crocodile dung. Still thinking about crocodile dung.